Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, Viksit Bharat 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions and commemorations. Today is commemorated as International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. The imperative of dialogue among civilizations in a changing world, as the world grapples with multiple interconnected crises such as widening gaps in peace, development, trust, and governance. Humanity stands at a historic crossroads, facing increasing instability, and transformation. The urgent need to solidarity, dialogue, and cooperation has never been more evident. Dialogue among civilizations remains the most effective way to eliminate discrimination and prejudice, foster mutual understanding, and trust strengthen relationships among nations, and reinforce global solidarity. Dialogue among civilizations not only fosters awareness and appreciation of the universal values shared by humankind, but also promotes peaceful coexistence based on mutual respect. It serves as a bridge to find common ground in addressing the pressing challenges of our times, ultimately contributing to the world peace, human welfare development, and progress. So, the International Day of Dialogue Among Civilizations provides an opportunity to raise awareness of the value of the diversity of civilizations and promoting dialogue, mutual respect, and global solidarity, fostering a more harmonious and interconnected world. So, the notion of the civilization is not easy to define and can be subject to misinterpretation. However, the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, regards it as a universal, pluralistic, and non-hierarchical reality, recognizing that civilizations are inherently shaped by intercultural dynamics while retaining their unique identities. On 7th June 2024, the General Assembly adopted Resolution 78 by 286 declaring 10th June the International Day for Dialogue Among Civilizations. Proposed by China and sponsored by over 80 countries, the resolution emphasizes that all civilizational achievements constitute the collective heritage of humankind. It underscores the importance of respecting civilizational diversity and highlights the Council role of dialogue is maintaining global peace, advancing shared development, enhancing human well-being, and achieving collective progress. The resolution acknowledges the essential role of dialogue in fostering awareness and understanding of universal values, as outlined in the UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, reaffirming that civilizational achievements are part of humanity's shared heritage. Today is also commemorated as Superman Week from June 10th to 13th. Usually a very busy week for both superhero, Superman, and the ordinary man behind the cape who is Clark Kent. The superhero will be busy posing for photographs and granting interviews and attending meetings, while the ordinary man Kent will be busy in other ways. He has been busy assisting Louis and Lane with letters and other preparations for the testimonial meal at the celebration. Superman might need to be two people and not just two characters if he wants to survive this week. Today is also commemorated as Abolition Day on June 10th, commemorates the abolition of slavery in the country. However, the observation is not only limited to Guyana but other nations in the Caribbean, and they were once colonized by the Europeans. The Europeans were notorious for enslaving the natives and subjecting them to unspeakable horrors. On Abolition Day, citizens also try to comfort their past. The day may also be celebrated by those who were subjected to serfdom on other forms of involuntary servitude. Abolition Day is a reminder of the humanity's cruel history that continues till date. Today is also commemorated as the EHS Day in US, which is observed every year on June 10th, is an attempt to raise awareness about electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome. This has been very little research done in this syndrome symptoms and effects so that it is not classified as a medically diagnosable conditions. But many international doctors and scientists as the debilitating effects this illness can have on some people. The syndrome is born out of increased sensitivity to the electrical environment, which can include mobile devices, Wi-Fi, and other electronics. This sensitivity can only get worse when we incorporate more and more electronic devices into our lives. There is also commemorated as National Ballpoint Day, Ballpoint Pen Day in US, celebrated every year on June 10th and rather fun and whimsical. This day encourages us to honor the humble, perfect product that is found everywhere in our home, schools, arts, studios, offices, etc. And almost everyone has used a ballpoint pen once in their life, and for many, it holds a special place in their pen holder. It is also commemorated as Slavery Abolition Day in French Guiana and other countries. It is also recognized as Emancipation Day in some nations. The day raises awareness of the atrocities of the slave trade era and serves as a reminder of brutality suffered by enslaved Africans and its consequences. This day was first observed in 2012, even though the historical event dates back to the abolition of slavery in the colony in 1848. It's time of sober reflection, that is celebration of the prevalence of truth and freedom for all men. Today is also commemorated as National Iced Tea Day on June 10th in US. But iced tea didn't burst onto the scene and win over America's hearts and minds until I did not form. In that year, visitors, the St. Louis World Fair, were greeted by exceedingly hot weather. So, tea plantation owner and merchant Richard Bletchley, who were present at the fair, took advantage of the situation by selling chilled tea drinks instead of hot tea as a cool refreshment. And the rest is history. Today is also commemorated as Portugal Day on June 10th. Every year, it's in Portugal, this day is usually called Dia de Portugal de Come e das Comunidades Portuguesas, which translates to Day of Portugal, Comuns and the Portuguese communities. The day is intended to remember the death of Luis de Communs, who is recognized as the country's greatest national icon. And he is most known for his poem, which narrates the story of Portuguese explorations in the 15th century and has since been accepted as a national poem in Portugal. However, because his birth date is uncertain, his death date, June 10, 1580, is commemorated as Portugal's national. It is also commemorated as National Herbs and Spices Day on June 10 every year and celebrates the world of diversity when it comes to these often teensy flavoring agents, which nevertheless pack a punch. After all, what would food even be if it weren't for the herbs and spices that make the merry dish unique? Since herbs and spices are cooking essentials, it therefore make complete sense that they are given day of recognition for their contribution to mankind its culinary journeys thus far. Furthermore, the great thing about many herbs is that they can be freshly grown, and there are just so many ways in which herbs and spices make all our lives better. Today is also commemorated as National Black Cow Day on June 10th in US. Every year, the perfect time to celebrate a cold and refreshing beverage when temperatures start warmer. Many people also know as a humble root beer float or ice cream soda. Some people even substitute vanilla ice cream with chocolate ice cream, making it a brown cow. Today is also commemorated as National Bedbug Prevention Day on June 10th in US. Every year, who would thought something as tiny as bedbug could cause so many problems for human beings? What worse is that even though they cause us so much grief, we can't even see them. No wonder these pests are among the most common problems experienced by people across the world, and the worst part of it is they are almost impossible to get rid of on their own. on your own. So no matter how hard you try, they are just keeping coming back. With this, we shall end today's commemorations and celebrations. See you all tomorrow, the same time, the same journey. Take